How does a student at FranU go about registering for disabilities? FranU is a post-secondary education institution covered by the Americans with Disabilities Act, Amended Act. This act requires students at this level to seek disability services as a self-advocate. They must be able to make an appointment on their own and self-identify. After making an appointment, they will go through an assessment. To expedite this process, they can provide professional documentation of disability with requested accommodations. If they choose not to provide professional documentation, they must be able to discuss the symptoms they are experiencing, report how they are substantially limited in at least one major life area, to identify hindrances and barriers. They may also disclose accommodations previously received, and then they are going to request specific accommodations. When requesting specific accommodations, the accommodations must address the barriers and hindrances that have been disclosed. They can be aided by the request of a diagnosing professional, and they can also be aided by previously granted accommodations. The student must be otherwise qualified for the program where they're seeking accommodation. This means if a student is in a program that requires them to be able to do high levels of math, they cannot substitute any math with another subject because they have a math learning disability. That would mean they're not otherwise qualified. If accommodations are granted, the students must communicate directly with their instructors. In every request for disability services, a determination will be made. For a positive determination, there must be a mental or health impairment present. The accommodation requested must fall under what is determined by ADAA to be reasonable. Reasonable accommodations must fit the diagnosed impairment and address barriers and hindrances. It does not change the curriculum, requirements, or professional practices and standards, and does not put others in jeopardy of their safety. When denied, the student may appeal to disability service, and the issue will be addressed by an ADAA ad hoc committee. If the student does not agree with this determination, they can file complaint with the Office of Civil Rights, the Department of Education, or the Department of Justice. When an accommodation is granted, an official letter granting accommodations will be written by Disability Services and issued to the faculty. The faculty will document reception of this letter of accommodations, and the accommodation coverage period will begin as soon as the documentation is received.